Let's look at a series of short videos to introduce Cascading Style Sheets CSS. We'll use the hands-on practice exercises in Chapter 5 to introduce this material. Let's begin by opening in TextPad. Open with TextPad the assignment files that are associated with this hands-on practice. And we'll close these tips. Here's the starter file. We've got a head section, we've got a body section. I always like to indent, and you should do this, follow this practice as well. Helps us see the outline and the content a little bit better. Let me turn on the line numbers. Now in this file we have no CSS, so this is a good place to start so that we can compare when we do have CSS. Let's open the other file. This is the embedded file, which has some embedded CSS in it. And I'm going to turn on the line numbers once again so that I can refer to the information. Now notice now we have a much longer head section. So the head section goes all the way down to line 17. So everything that's in the head I'm going to indent so that we can start to see the content here and the outline of this information. Line 6 I have a style. Line 16 I have an ending style. So let's grab everything that's nested between those two lines and also indent it. So we can see that the head section is really comprised of a title, a meta, and a style section. Within the style we've got the CSS declarations, the CSS rules which will apply to the rest of the HTML file. This style will allow us to apply color, sizing information, and other features to our content. So let's talk briefly about HTML. We know that HTML has text. We're going to see that it can have images. In other words, HTML is concerned with the content and structure, the sequence and relative position of the items on our web page. The CSS, the style, is associated with color, padding, margins, backgrounds, sizes. And we want to put those latter items only in the style, not in directly with the HTML. Now, having said that, we associate style items directly with the items in the body. So here is a body rule on line 7, which will be associated directly with the body HTML in line 18. Here we have a style for an H1, which will apply directly to the H1 on line 19, and of course we have the H2, which will apply directly to the H2 HTML tag. So we have an association set up. We're applying style to various tags within the HTML. Let's look at the details of one of these rules. So here is the rule selector, the body. It is comprised of a curly brace to open it, and down on line 9, a curly brace to close it. Within it we have various declarations, a property and a value for each property. So here's the background color, colon, and then the specific property, in this case an RGB color. This was talked about in Chapter 4, so you might have to go back and review Chapter 4, how these colors are specified. This is in hexadecimal mode. Background color, and then on the next line, line 8, we have the color for the text, which also has the property, colon, the value, and then each one ends with a semicolon. Very important syntax here that we must follow. Make sure you include the colon in the middle to separate the property from the value, and that you end it with a semicolon. All of the CSS that we write will follow this syntax. Let's look at this in the browser. So here's our file in the browser that has embedded style with it. And let's also include a comparison of the starter file, view it in the browser, and here you will see that these are essentially two pages with the same content. Here it is unstyled, this is the starter page, and here it is styled. So again, notice again that the CSS is offering color for the text, offering color for the background, and it's applying it very specifically, sometimes to the entire page, to the body, or sometimes to specific elements such as the H1 or the H2. So that's the styled page and the unstyled page. This is a very nice example because the content is the same, but one has style and the other one does not.